start off with, do you mind telling us who you are and what you do?
Sure, I'm Fabian Siegel. I'm partner at Global Founders Capital. It's a new fund based here in Berlin/Munich. It's roughly 150 million euros.
And how many investments have you made so far?
So we've announced one investment and we're working on more investments. We have done as well some more investments, but we can't announce them yet, unfortunately.
Any time frame of when you'll...
The next weeks.
And what areas are the most interesting for you to invest in?
I mean, there's a ton of interesting things happening. We have a global focus. We're not only looking in Europe, we're looking in Asia, we're looking in Latin America, in Africa, we're looking in the US. Some things that we see is that in e-commerce, you see a lot of curated shopping concepts happening. It's like a layer that sits on top of all these e-commerce players. It's quite interesting because when you have a demand, you go to Amazon, but what if you want to browse? You go on high street and browse around. How do you move that to online? So I feel like many curated shopping concepts trying to capture that. That's one interesting thing. There's other interesting in consumer finance that I like. The one deal we announced was in consumer finance. Learning, I think, is very interesting. So I think there's many things that are interesting to me, but there's probably many other hot topics that I just don't understand and identify yet.
Right. And so you're working together with the Samwers. How involved are they in the fund? So
Ollie and Mark are my partners in the fund, and they are both actively involved in the fund. We all try to source as many deals as possible, and we all try together to decide which is the deal that we want to make.
Okay. And so you were saying before that you were managing a business yourself, so Lieferheld obviously. What's more fun, managing a company or investing in them?
It's very early for me to say. I love what I'm doing right now because I got to spend time with all these exciting people that build great businesses. Once you do an investment, you can try to help these people with your network, and that's fun as well. So right now it feels like I can scale myself even more than when you run a business. When you run a business, you always try to figure out how can I make my team successful without me? How can I scale myself more? And I feel like I'm doing the same right now.
Okay, and why did you decide to move into the investing side of things?
I think it was a great opportunity because, again, when you build your own business, you're focusing on one thing and you make your team successful and grow your team. And now you have the opportunity to work on more ideas than just one, and you do the same thing. You give them capital advice, you connect them to your global network, and that's something that's nearly as fun as actually building your own thing.
And on that note, what kind of trait do you think is the most important for an entrepreneur to have?
I think you have to be an optimist. You have to be enthusiastic, optimistic, and always believe in the good in people and that things will go well. You have to be a person that's working hard and that knows that things will not fall in your lap. You always have to work hard for what you're doing. I think working hard, being an optimist, and being somebody who sees the reality for what it is. So try to not have too many opinions. Look at the data, compare data rather than comparing multiple opinions. I think these three things are very important for an entrepreneur to be successful.
And I guess you're seeing a lot of startups that are coming out of Germany at the moment. What, in your opinion, are the three most promising startups?
Oh, that's a hard one. I probably cannot answer that. There's many great startups in Germany at multiple stages. There's tons of early stage startups that are exciting. I just saw one the other day, Waymate in the travel space, very new, very exciting. You see some a little later stage startups, and you see the big ones, which I think are very exciting. I think Wonga, SoundCloud, obviously Delivery Hero. These are all exciting late-stage startups employing hundreds of people globally coming out of Berlin. I think Berlin as a startup hub can be proud to have actually these world stars already here.
So you think that they can compete on an international level?
I think they do. I think in many parts they are leading. Wonga is on the Wooga. I'm mixing those two guys. Wooga is actually leading in its space. I think SoundCloud is leading in its space. Delivery Heroes on the way to be world leader in its space. Zalando is a clear leader. So there's many world-leading companies coming out of Berlin that are often overlooked. So I think totally, you don't build to sell. You build to actually become a number one.
Great, thanks for talking to me, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of the Eureka conference.
Thank you.